Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new series on the YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing WWE 2K26 MyGM. Now MyGM, if you guys don't know, it has been updated a little bit since the last time we did it on the YouTube channel. There's now 50 weeks compared to 25. There's way more money to allow more drafting. And there's a lot more other smaller differences, like more PLEs, more superstars on the roster, of course. But we are going to be starting a new series here where we go ahead and just, do some MyGM. Usually My Rise is the only series. We are only 3 episodes into My Rise at the time of making this video. Don't worry, we will get those out. I know I usually don't get them out. I think 2K25 was the first one I ever actually finished on the channel. But do not worry, that is not going anywhere. It's just, I want to add some new series. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick who we're going to be playing against and who we are going to be. And I'm going to go ahead and just keep it nice and simple for this. I'm going to be Nick Aldis on SmackDown. I'm really not quite sure what Nick Aldis' power card is. 4 times per season, add 10 weeks to a contract. All right, that's pretty good. As for our opponents, this is real original here. We got Adam Pearce on Raw. And they don't have whoever the NXT GM is currently, so we're going to do Ava for NXT, but that leaves one spot remaining, and there's a couple things I could do. I could be Paul Heyman, I believe he's here somewhere, and go with ECW, but that is a pain to play against. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and we could do Eric Bischoff in WCW, but personally I think Shawn Michaels on, I guess, NXT 2.0. is what we're going to run with here on this. Let's go down, I guess, start up here. We're going to go and keep everything normal. Win condition fans, Hall of Fame trophies. Let's crank that up to 30. If we do make this a regular series, we might want something to do for the whole year. Starting budget, $7 million. For now, we'll just keep everything else the same. Match unlocks, we are going to keep classic, so that way we can start with all matches. Just because who wants to sit here and unlock and buy matches? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the draft. Though there are the draft rules. You guys can pause and read that. But most likely, if you're watching this, you know how my GM works. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick. And we do get the first pick in the draft. We've got Seth, Cody, Punk, Roman, Drew, Jay, Randy, Gunther, Shinsuke, AJ, R-Truth, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, LA Knight. We got a lot of people to choose from. Obviously, I have to take this a little bit seriously. I can draft who I want, but I also have to go and be smart about who I'm drafting. And I think as overall number 1 pick, we're going to choose CM Punk. Obviously, we have to keep a lot of money to avoid running out of money, but we also have to go in and get some big names on our roster. And providing they don't take him, I'm going to take Drew McIntyre as our next pick. This might be kind of left field. Obviously, Drew isn't the biggest main eventer, but obviously you guys know that Drew and Punk not only one have a good rivalry. Raw is stacking up. But of course you also, however, guys, that it's fighters and bruisers. You gotta, get them classes. Women are up next. There are no women here. Is there any women? Liv Morgan's at the top. Let's just filter by women. We got Bianca, Asuka, Charlotte. What I've learned from playing my GM is that you need the women giants. There's not many of them. There's like 4. So I'm going to take Charlotte Flair as my 3rd pick. I'm not a big Charlotte fan, but, maybe we could get some tag team action, whatever here. I feel like we're kind of getting beaten here. Everybody else is taking the big names, and we're going to take Liv Morgan as our 4th pick, obviously, to go up against Charlotte. Right now, I'm just kind of, knocking out the bases if I want any chance of actually succeeding in the MyGM. I kind of messed around with it a little bit, had some fun with it. Now I'm ready to get serious. And while we're here in the women, we might as well just go in and draft Bianca Belair since she is just right there. We should have went with Gunther. All right, we need to get some giants because 2 giants just went in a row. Let's go to the giants. See, there's not many women giants. There's not many men giants. Oh, God, there's not many men giants. We have Eric Rowan or Ivar. Ivar, I feel like just a no-brainer. If you guys can see, he's cheaper, he's more popular, and he has 1 more stamina. So welcome to SmackDown, round 6. Ivar. Really kind of just weird pick, but it'll make sense. It won't look too good in the thumbnail, but, that's what we're going with. Up next, this is kind of when we can just do whatever we need to do, whatever we want to do. And I mean, let's just get Brock Lesnar, 89 stamina, Brock Lesnar. We can use him whenever he wants. I feel like that's just going to be like a no-brainer, just a beast of a man. All right, they're grabbing JC Mateo. We're going to need a fighter to go up against it. I really don't want to get R-Truth. Let's get somebody a bit cheaper. We need a babyface fighter. Let's say his name. Joe Hendry, welcome to SmackDown. Man, I'm glad I got that early DLC. All right. Moving on. They're taking KO. Good for NXT. They are stacking up also. Not NXT 2.0. Shawn Michaels has got some weird visions for, not Kofi Kingston. I'm looking at Kofi Kingston. Akira Tozawa. Let's go back to the women. Alrighty here. We need a fighter to go up against Bianca. So why not, get, Chelsea Green up in here. SmackDown. Alright, Ricky Saints, that's a good pick. I'll give NXT their flowers, man. They are really jacked at a good... Okay, NXT 2.0. It's not doing the best. So now we have even women. Let's get a specialist in the women's division. I'm debating if I want to go up on the cash to get Tiffany Stratton. I'm not seeing any more specialists available, so I think we're going to have to go with Tiffany Stratton, man. I think I saw like one other, but I really didn't even see like who it was. Oh wow, El Grande's going right after Ludwig Kaiser. No idea why. Alrighty, so now that we have 10 people on our roster, still $4 million. I gotta get AJ, man. If you guys know me, you know I love AJ. Afterwards, I'm gonna try my best to not spend as much money. We do need to kind of, preserve. I like to preserve at least $200K, which I know seems like a lot of ways, but obviously we need a bigger roster. I don't want to go quite Pat McAfee level, but let's go to like maybe 200K per wrestler. Who's down here? Who's down here worth grabbing? Bronson Reed and Pete Dunne, Rusev. Let's get Rusev, 88 stamina. He's a bruiser. He can fight Punk maybe at some point. Welcome to SmackDown, the Bulgarian Brute Rusev. All right, NXT's grabbing Alba Fire. Okay, this might be NXT 2.0's best pick so far. We need someone to go against Rusev, so we do need a fighter in the lower levels here. Tonga Loa. Do we go with the infamous Tonga Loa? We cannot. However, we do need a babyface fighter. Obviously, we could switch people around, and we will, especially if this series continues. For now, though, I'm not seeing... There's Lyra Valkyria. You know what? Let's get Lyra on our brand. Welcome to SmackDown, Lyra Valkyria. We need to start grabbing some women. I did see one man I want to grab on SmackDown, and I'm going to go ahead and already make him a champion to start out. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to SmackDown. He doesn't have his current gimmick. I don't even know how much money he is. I just saw him real quick. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kit Wilson. He's facing Jelly Roll this Friday. But, alright, we probably need someone to go against Lyra now. So, a women's bruiser as a heel, I believe. So, let's go to the women. Who's a bruiser and a heel? We got Nikita Lyons, Fallon Henley, Blake Monroe, Jada Parker, Izzy Dane. What's popularity-wise looking like? This is a mid-card. 47 versus 42. I'm going to go with Fallon Henley. We need that extra 10 stamina. Who's going next? Brutus Creed. All right, good for Brutus, I guess. All right, well, there goes Nikita Lyons. Good thing we bagged up Fallon Henley. What do we need now? We still need one more woman, I believe, in the specialist. Now, we have Tiffany Stratton. So, what are we missing from the women's division? We have Bianca to face. No, obviously, we'll move these rivalries around. But for now, we have Bianca to face Chelsea. I don't know. We'll go back to the men for now. Let's try and get a tag team in here, I'm not really quite sure how long this draft will be. I'm not quite sure how long this video is going to be. But let's go and try and get an actual tag team in here. We could just go pretty deadly right off the bat, but we don't need them. You know what I mean? You know what? Let's go for a women's tag team. Let's get Roxanne Perez. Let's make the Judgment Day. in SmackDown. Maybe we could get Raquel too. I'm going to try to get Raquel. See, NXT's grabbing the Creed brothers. And NXT 2.0's got the Vision. Can we get Raquel Rodriguez? We can't. You know, we got the full Judgment Day on SmackDown. At least the women's half of it. I don't really want to grab Dom or JD because they're both cruisers. Alrighty. Now I feel like we definitely need to go to the men's division. And let's just get somebody on the lower card here. Javon Evans. Okay, you know, Javon only being 74K is crazy. We're copping Javon Evans here. Alright, they're getting Yoshiki Imura. Not quite sure if I pronounced that right or not. We're already in round 18, which means we do have 18 people on our roster. We're still at $2.6 million. Who do we want next? We just got Javon. I'm pretty sure they're out of male heavyweights / giants. So I guess let's just go ahead and, you know, let's get Ashish Chad Gable. You know, he's a heel specialist. We need them specialists on the roster. Alright, Lash Legends going to NXT. Grayson Waller is going to NXT 2.0. Who do we want on SmackDown next? I feel like we should get another women's giant. They're both heels, though. We already have Charlotte. And if Liv's going to be in the tag team division, we need another female cruiser. So we got Zelina. We have Naomi. Naomi's like a little bit cheaper, but has a little less popularity and way less stamina. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pay the extra little bit and get Zelina. At least she's still got her last name in this. Alrighty, they're taking Dragunov. That's a good pick. Maxine Dupree, iffy. Alright, we're moving on. We got 10 of each. That's a pretty good start. You know, let's just go to like the mid section again and just grab a couple more people. You know what? Let's grab... I was going to grab Ethan Page, but he's a cruiserweight. I really don't need any more cruisers. Tyler Bate, possibly. Charlie Dempsey, Brooks Jensen, Lexus King, Oba. I don't really need another heel, though. Let's see. Women's wise, I get you can't do intergender matches. We already have a women's fighter. Did we ever get anybody to face Lyra? I don't believe we did. So we need a women's bruiser. No, we did. Who did we get? We got... yeah, Fallon Henley. Alright, we're good. You know what? Let's go and splurge a little bit. Let's get Finn Balor. SmackDown would love to have Finn Balor on the roster. We're going to get somebody now. We need a good guy. We need a babyface. Bruiser, I believe. So let's go and see who's available still. We could just go with L.A. Knight. And I think we're actually going to go with L.A. Knight. I don't know if there's any more Giants, though. But I'm seeing a lot of cruiserweights. And I kind of want to get some of them. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and continue. Oh, we're earning rewards points. You know what? I'll take that. I don't even think those are my rewards points. Anyhow, who do we got now? We still got 1.5 million. I'd like to get 2 more wrestlers. You know what? Let's get Sol Ruca. I love Sol Ruca. Now we need a giant, which I was kind of getting at because I would like to either get Jade Cargill or Nia Jax, whoever has really more stamina. This could balance out the roster nicely. Jade has more stamina, more popularity, and she's a whole $1,000 cheaper. You know, we need that $1,000. We need that 1K. I believe we have enough for roughly 1 or 2 more, depending on how cheap we get them. What's the lowest specialist not named Pat McAfee? Tony D'Angelo. Anybody with a little bit more stamina. Pete Dunne, 90 stamina. We're copping Pete. Welcome, Peter, to SmackDown. Let's go and get one more woman to balance it out. And I believe, you know, I forget actually what our number's at. Yeah, 13. Let's get one more woman. Candice LeRae, maybe. She's up there. There ain't many women actually left. Yeah, let's get Candice. You know, another fighter to go against Bianca. I'm going to see how much money I have, and if so, just as a joke, we're going to call it Pat McAfee. Depending, I'm going to see how much. Okay, so here's the catch. I wanted to stay below 200K. He has been at the top the whole time. Monday Night Rollins is now SmackDown. I'm 256K. I could be a little bit more, but I want Seth Rollins. I can't believe I picked Seth Rollins last. But he's been on the board the whole time. I just felt like I had to get him. And I am done drafting my roster. What a thumbnail, with the exception of Ivar. That is great. But I'm just going to go ahead and let the AI draft, and I will catch up with you guys whenever we are ready. Alright, guys. So the brands have finished doing what they were doing here. As you can see, they picked a lot more than we did. They have a whole entire extra bar that we don't. NXT got Pat McAfee. You know, good for them, man. Really proud of them here. WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, if you guys don't know, obviously that is our goal. We're on the way to Battleground. We've got Triple H in our DMs. Yeah, I think this is just the basics. And Ava, you know, just no doubt, you're going to put up a good fight this year. You know, you do have Becky Lynch. Good for you, Ava. But, you know, we have Seth Rollins. Here's the thing. I'm going to leave the WWE title vacant for now. I'm going to put the United States title on Kit Wilson. Man, Rusev and Javon are already unhappy. So is Pete Dunne. What is this? Alright, you know what? Rusev and Pete Dunne are unhappy. Let's make them the tag team champions. You know, we got that little UK. I don't even know if Bulgaria is in the UK. I failed world geography. Anyhow, same thing with the women's division. Wow, we grabbed no, we did grab women. Yeah, let's go Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. And women's US champ. I mean, it's got to be the great. Actually, no, I was going to say the greatest US champ of all time, Chelsea Green. However, she needs to be in the main event to challenge Bianca. So, who's unhappy? Jade's unhappy. Zelita's unhappy. What do we have? So we have, I grabbed 3 heel cruiserweights, didn't I? Yeah, I got Sol Ruca though. You know, let's give it to Sol Ruca. Actually, we'll give it to Jade and we'll start a rivalry with Sol Ruca. So, our champs, besides the world titles, have been crowned. There's only one pay-per-view, or there's only one match you're allowed to do per PLE now. So in tonight's main event, we're going to have ourselves a fatal 4-way for the women's United States, or for the women's world title. And check out this absolute banger that we have on tonight's show to close out the show in a women's world title matchup, fatal 4-way action. As for the men, I'm going to go ahead and start a rivalry between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. The title will not be on the line yet. And actually, we're just going to do a call-out promo. Let's get these guys' stamina up just a little bit here. I'm playing this smarter than I usually do. Mid-card, you always kind of want that to be a little bit of a dud match. Let's do a tag team match. Let's get the tag team champions, Rusev and Pete Dunne, on the show. And they will be challenged by the new tag team of Ivar and Joe Hendry. You know, you gotta believe in Ivar. We'll put the titles on the line for the first week. Moving on, the United States title, we'll put Kit Wilson in a title defense against L.A. Knight. Yeah. And as for the kickoff match, let's get this rivalry started. But to make it a little bit better, we are going to go ahead and make it. Let's put a ladder match on the first episode of SmackDown here. Show everybody what is going down. Charity. Obviously, we have to go in and get charities for people to go in and get our fans up a little bit. Put Tiffany Stratton in one, put Finn Balor in one, and make this for the title. So let's go ahead and see how our first week does. Most of the time, I am going to go ahead and just simulate this. But for our first week, let us go ahead and see how we are doing here. I'm only going to do 5 weeks. I'm usually going to do 10 for these episodes. Jade keeps the title in a 3-star match. You love to see it. Drew calls out Punk, gets that rivalry started. We're going to be taking that to the PLE. Rusev and Pete Dunne versus Ivar and Joe Hendry. Rusev and Pete Dunne, still your tag team champs in a 3-star match. Tiffany Stratton bringing in 4.5K fans. Kit Wilson versus LA Knight. And Kit Wilson is still the United States champion. 2.5 stars. Kind of figured. Balor getting us 3K fans, not as much as Tiffy, who is going to walk out the WWE champion. Liv Morgan. All right, so the first rivalry there is going to be Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. Let's go ahead and get that started then. So as you can see, we are pretty much just on point with all the other brands, but I think because of charity, we should be in the lead. We gained 40K, 40K for Raw, 28K for NXT, and 32K for NXT 2.0. So we are in the lead. Actually, we are exactly tied with Monday Night Raw. We're going to 30 trophies, you know. That's just kind of how we got to do it. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. And conveniently, Charlotte wants to be booked on the show in Charlotte. So, you know what? Let's make a big time match because this rivalry still hasn't started. We'll make it for the title. I'm not going to do any of this like, you got to earn a title shot bull. Every single title match just ups the show even more, and that's exactly what we're going for. You know what? Since Kit Will's son did so good last week, and he is a bruiser or specialist, we could just have him fight whoever. This week, it's Javon Evans. It's the Kit Will's son United States title open challenge. Drew's getting happier. We're going to have him call out Punk again. If Punk's getting called out, does Punk lose stamina if he fights? I don't know. I like to use Punk, and I think I'm going to use Punk in the main event. Look at this big time match we're putting on. Just in a tables match, because one of them is a specialist. Seth Rollins is a specialist in a tables match. And who won the women's tag titles last week? So Roxanne and Raquel. I don't know if I made them champions beforehand. I don't even know if they fought yet. Did they fight yet? No, she's still 0-0. So this week, we're booking the women's tag titles against... Who did I draft to go up against them? I mean, I guess Solruka, but I wasn't quite prepared for this. Do I have any women's specialists? I do. Tiffany Stratton. I already have Sol in a match. You know what? We're going to have Zelina out there, and beforehand, we're going to do... No, that's not what I want to do. A role change, and I know this will lose a lot of stamina for Zelina, but I'm going to go ahead and turn her babyface. I'm not even quite sure why I drafted her, but then we're going to go and have a charity for the most charitable man in professional wrestling, Brock Lesnar. Because why not? Let's go and see how week 2 goes here. We're going to do this week, and then for now, we're just going to start simulating guys, because obviously none of us want to be here all day. However, we do have a new women's world champion here. Zelina Vega turned good. You know, she does have a promo skill of 4, so it works out. Women's tag team titles, and we have new champs. That'll definitely be a rivalry. Only 2-star, but then we will get that up to a 5-star rivalry. Mark my words. The Kit Will's son United States title open challenge continues. And it is quickly... Alright, but it's a rivalry. Kit Will's son will get that United States title back. And in the main event, we're putting CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on free television in a tables match. And Seth wins. You know what? I might just have to give Seth the first title shot afterwards because he is a specialist. But let's see how we did in the overall ratings. Overall, with the exception of the main event, it still looks like we're on par. 36K fans. Raw's only got 34. NXT's only got 34. NXT 2.0 got 30. So we're now in the lead by roughly 2,000 fans. We're almost on the way to Battleground. Raquel's upset. I get that. Bianca wants to take a Bloodline Rules. Sure. Okay, Bianca. We'll get that in the books right now. Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green. I don't quite think I want that to be a main event by any means, even an opener, really. But, you know, it is a stipulation, so, you know, we'll give them the opener in a Bloodline Rules match. Goodness, I can't believe I'm actually putting this up here. Main event. We're going to have... actually, let's just go ahead and go to the second match first. We're going to have Kit Wilson challenging Javon Evans for the title again. Oh, no, not for the WWE title. That was almost really bad. Raquel wanted a rematch, but I'm going to make them wait till next week. Let's start another rivalry between LA Knight and Finn Balor. The one problem I have noticed so far is that it is hard to get everybody on the show. So we're going to use these to actually do some call-outs. We're going to have Jade call out Solruka, and Brock's getting angry, and I noticed that. We're going to have Brock call out Joe Hendry because that's a rivalry waiting to happen. Main event this week, it's Drew McIntyre. Ready for this tag team match. Drew McIntyre. We're making it a 6-man. They added him this time around. We're making it just like WWE. We're having Drew McIntyre, Pete Dunne, and Rusev versus CM Punk, Joe Hendry, and the phenomenal AJ Styles. And final thing on the show, charity from the Women's World Champion, Charlotte Flair. And after this episode, Bianca Belair won against Chelsea Green. Javon's still the champion. Finn Balor knocks off LA Knight, and the babyfaces win the main event. Overall, it still seems like we're pretty neck and neck of Raw. They might have gotten a little bit more fans, but no, we actually beat them by 3K fans. Okay, so we beat everybody so far tonight. And we're roughly 4,000 fans ahead. We have 1 week till the PLE. Okay, Kit Wilson's below 40K. We got that. Rusev wants a match of AJ Styles. We're going to give him that. You know, this is the go-home show. Seth wants to team with Balor. You know what? Let's make this a goated go-home show. Bianca, you know, that you're welcome. Let's make this a goated go-home show, though. And make this a triple threat tag team match. Rusev wants to go up against Finn, or wants to go up against AJ. So let's go with AJ and Joe Hendry, and let's go and put Seth and Finn. We got ourselves a big time 3-way for the tag team title in a tables match. Kit Wilson versus Javon. Oh no, we can't do that this week. Alright, Javon, looks like you're gonna hold off this week. Who's our women's US champ? Jade Cargill and Sol Ruka are gonna go at it again. Let's go and see what else here. Chelsea, you're getting a bit low, but we're going to put you up again. We lost a lot of guys by booking that big man match, but I do see Chad Gable as well as Candice LeRae, who I've not been able to use yet. You know what? I think it's time we go ahead and book. These two are at the very bottom of the popularity game. I think it's time we go ahead and take advantage of that. We'll put them in the middle. And as for the main event, we're going to rematch for the Women's World title. I think this week we're just going to go ahead and put a lot of guys that are maybe a bit upset because they're not on the show in some self-promos. So Chad Gable, Candice LeRae, Lyra Valkyrie, no, she's fighting, Roxanne Perez, and who else is upset? LA Knight. Alright, there we go. Let's go and see how this show does without any charities. Alright, so we made a little bit of a mistake here by putting the tag team title match on first. It only got 2.5 stars. Charlotte kept her title. Jay kept her title. Rusev and Pete Dunne kept their title. No one's injured. That's good. We only got 55K fans. Yeah, we definitely got passed. We might have got passed by everybody. Oh, no, we're still in second. Alright, we're still in second. And, and I just realized that, yeah, you could have a no-holds-barred match, Raquel. Seth, yeah, you're happy. I'm happy. We forgot, however, to build up the WWE title match to be a 5-star. So, we're putting the title on the line, and we're going to go to make it an Extreme Rules match just to kind of jack up the price a little. Not the price. Jack up just the opportunity to get more fans. Who's going to be in the big time? It's got to be Seth, right? And then the women's main event. Who has some high stamina? That's a pretty good star. I could just throw Candice in there because it is a tag team match. But it's just, I don't know. Do we think she can do it? Let's throw Lyra in there. Lyra, she could do it. As for this, you know what, Candice? Since I haven't used you once since I got you, you're going to be in the charity on the PLE. And we should probably take some advantage of the money that we have and buy not only the concert hall, not only the backstage crew, and I guess only that because we're now out of assets. But let's see how the PLE does. So Seth Rollins and Dragon Lee did it, so we get 1 power card. Punk beat Drew in a 4-star match. That's what you like to see. And Lyra and Maxine take the W. So Lyra got me some cash, or not some cash, whatever the power card is. I never doubted Seth at all. And man, did we just take a big jump back up. And I believe now that we have a little bit more to do before the video ends, including the trading. Who's upset, really? Like, obviously Brock's going to be upset, but I'm not getting rid of Brock. Who does Raw have to perhaps trade for Candice LeRae? Oh, you could get Johnny Gargano. That kind of be funny. I really don't want Wendy Chu. JC Jane, but that is a lot to just give away. 98K. I wonder if we can cup 2 wrestlers for the price of 1. Because is it possible that we could convince them to give us both Blake Monroe and JC Jane for Candice LeRae? They took it. You know what? I'll take that. As for anybody else that's upset, obviously besides Brock, Chad's upset. Selena's upset. You're the champ. Everybody else is in rivalries, however, or happy except Chad. But Chad's at 100. I can't just give up Chad. Let's go ahead and see, however, what they want to offer us. Okay, Ivar is upset, but they're trying to offer B-Fab and Tatum Paxley. That is not worth Ivar. We need those giants. Lash Legend and Thea Hale for Ivar. Another, like, that's a rivalry, but I'm just not going to take it. And then NXT 2.0, same thing. I got to keep Ivar on my brand. They're offering more cash. They must really want Ivar. I'm not going to take it. And then the last thing we have to do, holy, is check this. Yeah, you can have a match, Roxanne. You want a match of Punk? Okay, yeah, we're just going to accept most of these. I listened to my stars and spend my cash wisely. Yes, Ava, I did really crush it. Chad, you want a proposition? Yeah, that'll be for next video to solve. And I do enjoy these Tasty W's, Sean. But the last thing I do have to do is, yeah, we're just going to do this one. I'll let you guys pause to see if you want to, read that. But I guess, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I do apologize for the rushed ending. Raw is on in 8 minutes, and my phone is alerting me that I am slowly reaching the end of my space once again. But yeah, guys, that was the first 5 weeks. Maybe I'll do a big 15-week next time, and then from that, we'll just go to 10 weeks. And I'm trying to get about, 10, 15-minute videos out for you guys, just in between the big My Rise videos. But if you guys did enjoy this episode of My GM, go and like, subscribe, so I know you guys like this, and we should continue the series. And without further ado, I thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.